I remember watching the scene where he takes like the broken pieces of the fence and he makes like a cross, and I'm like, you can do better than that, can't you?
Come on.
I mean, considering you're out there, like, or at very least, because he spent so much time there, I wanted a scene where like he upgrades it and gets like a nicer one.
Yeah.
But I'm like, really? You're just like taking like some scrap firewood and you're like, good enough.
What's this movie about? Sinister characters converge around a young man devoted to protecting those he loves in a post-war backwoods town teeming with corruption and brutality. So I'd say that's pretty accurate.
It's a hard sit if you don't have some people that you already like. Do you think this movie would have had such a big draw if you didn't have the big star power names that you have in it?
That's a great point.
This movie is not very pro-religion.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's actually one of the things I want to talk about.
It almost feels like it was written by like a diehard atheist who was just like, you see? I remember being frustrated with a lot of the characters who were doing things out of, I guess, in the name of God or whatever. Really good, strong performances, but I don't think I'll ever watch it again.
Yep.
Like, give somebody an Oscar, great.
Yeah,
but will I watch it again? No. Although I do love how Spider-Man killed Batman, John Connor, and the Winter Soldier because Pennywise John Wicked his dog.
And you had a follow-up.
And produced a film produced by Mysterio.
There you go. I couldn't have said it better than that.
It feels like a Stephen King book, doesn't it?
Okay.
And it reminds me a lot of that. It almost has like that Shawshank Redemption bit to it a little bit.
Okay.
But darker.
Yeah.
Like the tall grass, the dude in the overalls, and like maybe he's gonna kill his wife. Like that's kind of.
To be honest, like once Asia and I watched the movie, we actually were pretty blown away by it. Okay, let's start here. What were some of your favorite parts of the movie? What are some things that worked?
I think for me, like I thought that Bill Skarsgård kind of stole the show for me.
Yeah, felt the same way.
And if you think about it, he's second billed, but he's kind of got the most screen time. You spend the most time with Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It does feel like this movie is like
Oscar bait.
Yes, actors that are very much typecast in their superhero costume who want to do like, hey, I'm a real actor. I want to prove what I can do.
Yeah.
You know, all right, well, we're gonna put you in this fucking devil. It's a period piece. You're gonna love it. At number one, I would definitely put the acting because a lot of these actors they definitely learn their monologues. A couple of them have some decent, juicy monologues.
Yeah.
Except for like Sebastian Stan, he just feels like.
All this Bodecker hate, man. Come on.
You could have gotten rid of his side story, his backstory, and you would have been fine. Like if you just left the point that he like met him when he was a kid, you leave that scene and you meet the fact that he finds him in the end. You don't need like him going to like the bar and the guy's like spitting on the 50 and I'm like, I don't need any of this. It's by far the weakest plot thread in the movie.
I think one of my other favorite things was the Dudley's character.
Roy.
Okay. He was like the first traveling preacher or whatever with the spiders.
Yeah.
He seems like a genuine believer, but he seems insane. And at the very end, when he is literally over top of his like dead wife because he, like you said, stabbed her in it with a screwdriver, which was one of the most shocking scenes in the whole movie for sure. I mean, I thought he was gonna like strangle her or something. Like he genuinely believed like God was going to raise her back up.
What a fucking asshole, man! Like,
no, absolutely.
The level of asshole just keeps ascending. Where it starts off with this jerk off pouring fucking spiders on his head, and then it's like everyone calls him out for being a fucking asshole. Where it's like, you know, he's hiding in the closet.
Yeah.
You know, like Michael Jackson's in the closet. R. Kelly's in the closet. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, this guy's a jerk off. And it's like, and then finally, I'm like, oh, he killed her because he thought he could use that to.
Here's the thing: he's a terrible character. Like, absolutely. I never doubted for a second that he believed all of what he was saying, though, which made it all the more tragic. And then, like, yeah, he's an asshole. He's crazy. So we've talked a lot about shocking moments.
Yeah.
So you go first. What would you say are like? What do you think are the three most shocking moments for you?
When the guy gets his dick blown off, which they don't show.
Yeah.
But when they
was it blown off or was it cut off? Like
I don't know, man, but it was gone. He was a bloody Ken doll.
Yeah.
Scrolling around. What I love is that one scene, man. Because I'm thinking that Tom Holland is going to get dragged out to the picnic bullshit. And he's going to be like kind of holding the gun in his pocket. And like eventually they're going to draw. He fucking blows him away right away. And for me, that's not even the scene that I love. The scene that I love is when the fucking girlfriend when the wife pulls out her gun
Yeah.
and they're like crisscross Mexican standoff, and I'm like, oh, like that was a scene. Like if Tom Holland was like a video game character and this was a game, his combo move, his go-to move to always win would be falling flat on his back with the gun up. Because he does it does it 2 or 3 times and like for the win, man. It works. I wasn't shocked by like when people got killed, Robert Pattinson getting killed.
Yeah.
You know, I do love that he threw the fucking Bible at him though. He's like I'm looking at my girlfriend, I'm like, did he just throw the Bible at him? And I'm like, well, I guess he used what you got. It's like, he threw the book at him. There you go.
So there's the first part. They're praying at the prayer log, right? And then these guys are coming by just saying the worst things possible about his wife, right? And he's like, no, we're going to keep praying. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I guess that's the right thing to do, but like,
I mean, it's everything.
Like, really? It's like, okay. And then you get the payoff of him like, okay, now's the time. And then he just beats the crap out of him. Even Asia's like, whoa, he's going a little too far. Like,
and I was, I had that thought
satisfying.
too. Like, I just imagine, like, did he know, like, from minute 1 that he was going to beat him up later? Or was he just having, like, or was he just eating, like, a ham sandwich, like, 2 days later going, you know what, I should go fuck those guys up.
Yeah.
Like,
right?
Like, I want to know, like, what the train of thought was. He was like, well, pray now. And then I did have a thought, though.
Yes.
Was that,
go for it.
You know, it would have been nice if your wife is dying of cancer, maybe spend more time with her than outside praying, like, for 10 hours a day.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the thought I had, like, after the movie. I'm like, you know.
Yes.
I also had thought of, wouldn't it be great when he killed himself at the prayer log, the dog came back to life?
It's like, oh.
You don't get to pick and choose which happens here.
Yeah, right? Oh, my gosh.
I remember watching the movie going, I totally understand why these characters drink so much. If I had to live in 1945 where, like, your big highlight of your week is like, well, once a week the whole town meets up in the church and we listen to Robert Pattinson, and then we, like, I totally get, like, and he's being a dick to the poor lady with the plate, and like, my God, I know now why they all drink and smoke so much, because, like, we have iPhones and fucking TV and Netflix, and they have to, like, they got the Bible and they got crocheting. I don't know what the fuck they do.
Right.
Churn butter. I don't fucking know.
Having sex on a school bus.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. The movie's called The Devil All the Time.
Yes.
And when you think of the scene that they use that in,
he's saying to his son that his father fought the devil all the time.
Yes.
Bill Skarsgård is saying, or the narrator is that the devil is always kind of working, and you have to kind of beat him off all the time. That sounds really bad. You need to
Mark, what are we talking about here?
But you need to, like, be, like, working in the opposite direction of. Yeah. So I think what the movie is trying to say is that the devil is in the details.
Okay.
So
yeah.
You could have something like religion.
Yes.
And all these things that start in a good place.
Yeah.
But you take that and use different elements, like you call it metaphorically the devil, who poisons those ideas, twists them, to the point that now you have people who are doing things what they think is God's will or something that would be, but it's not. It's something that's been poisoned and twisted, kind of metaphorically by the devil in a sense. Like, that's what was my takeaway.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, this is not a movie about religious people, but, like, maybe kind of like people's demons, or if you want to take it that far, as like the devil, kind of twisting shit around to the point that this is what we got. This is the dark side of all that.
Life feels that way. It feels like the worst is the loudest, the loudest symbol. When you look at the news, you hear often the worst of it,
Right.
So I feel like, I mean, in some ways, maybe it's like an accurate slice of life. When he's in the car at the very end, Tom Holland, and he's like falling asleep. And I forget the actual line, but he says maybe there was something to, like, my grandma's religion. Or, like, he was talking about, like, my grandma would say pray on it. And he's like, maybe there's something to that. And then he, like, kind of falls asleep. And I was like, okay. That was, like, a interestingly – I took it as kind of like an interesting –
But I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But he also says, maybe I should join the Vietnam War and go kill some people. So I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't really know. Like, it's a little
Yes.
murky. Like, he
Yes.
could be a bad guy in 10 years. You don't know. I thought they all, like, they figured out I could be this good of an actor, and they figured out, like, where the line is and how to get to that line and stay on it.
Okay.
Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
nobody went too far. I don't think they can do any better. Not to say that they were bad, but I don't think the actors could do much better than what they did in this, if that makes sense.
Oh, you felt like they hit their peak.
Yeah, and hey, look, it's a better peak that I could ever hit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think it's like the greatest acting in the world. Like, there's like, I guarantee you, like, recency bias is gonna be what probably happens, where like a month will go by and go, that's all right.
That was all right.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna call it quits like the second he found those photos.
Okay.
Because he burnt the photos, and I figured.
Doubling
Nope.
down.
I just figured he's gonna I'm gonna let the whole thing go. I got an election coming up. I don't even really like them that much. You know what I mean? I just figured he would have like burned it and then dropped it.
Yeah.
I remember watching the scene where he takes like the broken pieces of the fence and he makes like a cross, and I'm like, you can do better than that, can't you?
Come on.
I mean, considering you're out there, like, or at very least, because he spent so much time there, I wanted to see where like he upgrades it and gets like a nicer one.
Yeah.
But I'm like, really? You're just like taking like some scrap firewood and you're like, good enough. No wonder nothing fucking happened. Maybe if you had like a nicer, spent a little more time on that crucifix. And that's another thing too. If you have a suicide and the dog nailed to a cross, wouldn't the detectives, the cops, wouldn't they have like taken the cross down? If nothing else, dig a hole and kind of push the dog and like pushed it all in the hole and kind of, you know.
It never happened.
Kinda. I don't know if you would leave a dog nailed to a cross in the middle of the woods.
I think they would have probably knocked it over or like done something to it.
I think that this guy, Reverend Preston, had such a big ego.
Yeah.
And he felt that he was so well revered in the community.
Yeah.
That he could do no wrong and that he can easily just get away with whatever. That he wasn't overly cautious. Yeah, he was a little sloppy.
For sure.
And I think there's one scene where like he's sitting in a rocking chair and the girl's like going down on him. Tom Holland's like right there in the window. I'm like, how do you not see him? Yeah, he's not even like in the distance. He's like, hey man, how's it going?
Yeah, it's pretty rough. So it's funny. Two of my coworkers, like my manager and one of my other coworkers, like, oh, we were gonna watch it over the weekend. We're gonna watch it. I'm like, can't wait to hear what you think. But yeah, man. Well, this has been great. This has been a ton of fun, guys. Definitely check out Burns Reviews. He does any explain videos, Blu-ray trips, reviews, reactions. Great guy, ton of fun. Definitely check him out. And yeah, I'll let you get to drinking all that water, and we'll talk again soon, man.
Man, you be good.
All right, we'll see ya.